My bank called and said, someone just drained $94,000 from your account. The last transaction was at a casino in Atlantic City. I was standing in my kitchen in Ohio. My wife was sitting 3 feet away from me. We stared at each other. Neither of us said anything for about 4 seconds. Then I put the call on speaker. The rep repeated it. $94,000. Gone. Pulled out across 6 hours through ATM withdrawals and casino cage transactions. All of it. The emergency fund, the college savings, everything we'd been building since our son Cody was born 11 years ago. Freeze it now. I said it before she finished the sentence. My wife Prue grabbed my arm. Her face had gone the color of paper. We just refinanced last month, she whispered. That money was sitting there for the closing costs. We close in 18 days. I told the bank rep I needed to file a fraud report immediately. She said the transactions were flagged unusual, but it passed biometric verification. Someone had physically presented at the cage with valid ID. Not a card skim, not a hack. Someone walked in with my identity and my money and handed it over in person. I had my wallet. I had my ID. My debit card was right there in my hand. So how? The police took a report over the phone. The bank investigator called back within the hour. They had casino surveillance. They were sending stills. When they came through, I had to sit down. The man in the footage was wearing my father's green Carhartt jacket, the one I bought him 2 Christmases ago. I would know that jacket anywhere. The tear on the left pocket, the way the collar sat. He was at the cage window, head slightly down, baseball cap on. I called my father Gord. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Voicemail. His neighbor picked up on the second ring. Haven't seen his truck in a few days, she said. Mail's piling up. I drove to his place 40 minutes away. Prue stayed home with Cody. His truck was gone. Lights off. I used my spare key. Everything was there. His phone charger, his blood pressure medication, his reading glasses he never went anywhere without. On the kitchen counter was a small stack of papers. Old bank statements. His name. My account number. My PIN written in his handwriting on a yellow post-it note tucked inside like a bookmark. My father had my PIN because I'd given it to him 2 years ago during a hospital stay when I needed him to get cash for me. I never changed it. I drove back home in silence. The casino investigator called that night. He confirmed my father had checked in 3 days ago under his own name, paid for 2 nights in cash, had gambled continuously across multiple floors. The cage withdrawals happened in a pattern. $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $49,000. The last one was just before checkout. The police put out a welfare check. My father was found the next morning at a diner 2 exits off the highway, eating scrambled eggs and reading a newspaper. When the officer asked where he'd been, he said he was heading home from his son's house in Columbus. Except I live in Cleveland. I haven't lived in Columbus since 2003. They called me from the diner. I heard him in the background asking the officer if he wanted coffee. He sounded completely fine. I flew out and sat across from him in a hospital room the following evening. He smiled when he saw me, said I looked thin, asked how Cody was doing. When I asked about Atlantic City, he looked at me like I'd said something in another language. The neurologist pulled me aside. Frontotemporal dementia, early to moderate, the behavioral variant. She said it often presents with financial impulsivity, secrecy, and the revisiting of emotionally significant locations. She asked if Atlantic City had any family history. My parents honeymooned there in 1987. The casino footage showed him at the slots for 14 hours straight. Cocktail waitresses said he was generous, laughing, tipping big. Hotel staff said he'd ordered room service and left a handwritten thank you note on the pillow. He'd seemed happy, they said, one of the happiest guests they'd had in a while. He'd spent 37 years building a life with my mother. She died 4 years ago. He'd barely left the house since. The casino eventually settled after 4 months of legal back and forth. Between what they returned and what my father had actually won before the losses, we recovered $71,000. Not everything, but enough to close on the house. My father moved in with us 6 weeks later. He sits with Cody after school most days, playing cards. He doesn't remember Atlantic City. He doesn't remember my mother's name anymore on the bad days, but sometimes in the evening he hums the song they danced to at their wedding. He doesn't know he's doing it.